For 25 years, she was untouchable, a queen of courtroom television who built an empire with nothing but a robe, a gavel, and a razor-sharp tongue. Judge Judy didn't just win cases, she dominated the airwaves. She became the highest-paid personality on TV, pulling in $47 million a year just for telling people they were stupid, and usually being right. But then, at the height of her power, she walked away. No warning, no farewell tour, just one sentence: "I've had enough." And just like that, the most iconic courtroom show in television history was over. Or was it? Because what happened next wasn't a quiet retirement. It was a calculated power move that shocked the industry. Behind the cameras, Judy was already planning something far bigger. So what really happened to Judge Judy? Why did she leave the show that made her a legend? And what secret deal did she make that may have secured her legacy forever? To find the answers, we have to go back. Before the fame, before the fortune, and into the courtroom where it all began. Before she was a household name, Judith Sheindlin was just another tough, no-nonsense family court judge in New York. She handled real cases in a real courtroom with real people, and she did it with a kind of blunt honesty that made headlines. She didn't sugarcoat anything. She didn't play politics. And she definitely didn't have patience for excuses. Her courtroom style? Fast, brutal, and unforgettable. Producers noticed, and in 1996, Judge Judy aired for the first time. No one knew it yet, but daytime TV had just changed forever. The format was simple: real cases, real litigants, and one woman who could tear through lies in under 30 seconds. Viewers were hooked. Her no BS attitude was like a slap in the face, exactly what daytime TV had been missing. And then, the ratings exploded. By the early 2000s, Judge Judy was the #1 courtroom show in America, and it stayed that way for decades. She was beating talk shows, game shows, and even some primetime dramas. But it wasn't just the fame, it was the paycheck. Judy negotiated one of the most jaw-dropping deals in television history. At her peak, she earned $47 million per year, working just a few days a month. She wasn't just a judge anymore, she was a brand, a business, a machine. But behind the scenes, Judy wasn't just building a show, she was building an empire. And that empire would give her power most stars never get. On screen, Judge Judy looked like just another daytime TV icon. Tough, fast-talking, and wildly entertaining. But off-screen, she was something far more powerful, a master negotiator. Most TV stars show up, read their lines, and collect a check. Judy, she read the fine print and then rewrote it. From the very beginning, she struck deals that gave her more than just a massive salary. She secured ownership rights to every episode of Judge Judy. Thousands of them. That meant long after the camera stopped rolling, every rerun still paid her. In 2017, she sold those library rights to CBS for a reported $95 million, just for the reruns. That wasn't a mistake. That was strategy. And she didn't stop there. She quietly expanded her brand with a spin-off series, Hot Bench, where a panel of judges debated cases. That show added more millions to her bottom line and proved she didn't have to be in the chair to be in control. By the time most people realized what she'd done, Judge Judy wasn't just the face of a hit show. She owned it, she ran it, and she cashed in on it like a CEO in a robe. But even empires have weak points, and Judy's came in the form of a growing rift with the network that made her a star. In 2020, fans were stunned when Judge Judy announced that the show, her show, was coming to an end. There was no farewell season, no grand finale, just a casual reveal during a talk show appearance. CBS sort of felt, I think, they wanted to optimally utilize the repeats of my program. So I'm not tired. Translation? She didn't quit. She was done playing by their rules. Behind the scenes, things weren't so polite. According to reports, Judy's relationship with CBS had been quietly deteriorating for years. At the center of the drama was control. Judy had launched a spin-off show called Hot Bench, a ratings success. But CBS allegedly tried to shuffle it around to make space for less successful shows without consulting her. She didn't like that. Then came internal power shifts. Executives she trusted left. Decisions were being made without her input. And if there's one thing Judy Sheindlin doesn't tolerate, it's being sidelined in her own empire. Her longtime friend and CBS boss, Les Moonves, was gone. The new leadership didn't share the same loyalty. So she walked. But she didn't walk away defeated. She walked away prepared. Because while CBS thought they were phasing her out, Judy had already set her next move in motion. And it wasn't just another TV deal. It was a strategic comeback designed to prove that she was the real brand, not the network. Most people in their 70s ride off into retirement with a golden parachute. Not Judge Judy. She came back swinging after walking away from Judge Judy. She signed a deal with a streaming platform most people hadn't even heard of. IMDb TV, Amazon's free ad-supported service. The move raised eyebrows. Why leave a juggernaut like CBS for a platform that sounded like a movie database? But Judy wasn't chasing a big name. She was chasing control. In 2021, she launched Judy Justice, her new courtroom show, her rules, her cast. Same format, same signature sass, but this time she owned everything. And in a move no one expected, she brought in her granddaughter, Sarah Rose, as her law clerk. For a woman who ran her show like a military operation, this was personal. Judy Justice exploded. It became the biggest original launch in IMDb TV history, pulling in millions of viewers and instantly making the platform a real player in the streaming space. But the shift wasn't just about content, it was about freedom. Judy no longer had to answer to executives. She could say what she wanted, bring who she wanted, and build the legacy her way. Still, not everyone was clapping. Some longtime fans weren't sold on the new vibe. And one major absence triggered more backlash than anyone expected. Because while Judy brought her family into the spotlight, she also left someone behind. And what happened next would spark the most public controversy of her career. When Judy Justice hit streaming, it came with a fresh look, a younger cast, and a whole new energy. But someone was missing. Petria Hawkins Bird, Judy's longtime bailiff and fan favorite for over 2 decades, was nowhere to be seen. No explanation, no send-off, just gone. And fans noticed immediately. Bird wasn't just part of the furniture. He was part of the Judge Judy identity, the calm counter to her fire, the only one who could give her that silent stare when she went too far. So when people asked why he wasn't part of the new show, Bird finally spoke up. "I was never even asked." That comment lit a fuse. Judy claimed she was looking for a new vibe, and that Judy Justice was a fresh start. But to longtime viewers, it felt cold. Bird had stood beside her for 25 years, and now he was tossed aside like an extra. It didn't stop there. Critics said Judy Justice lacked the punch and pace of the original. Some called it too soft. Others said the cases felt more scripted. Even loyal fans wondered if this was Judy mellowing out or just cashing in. And behind the scenes, the business was still fierce. As reruns of Judge Judy kept airing, a legal battle brewed over how those profits were divided, especially now that Judy had sold the rights for $95 million. Even CBS insiders reportedly felt the deal was lopsided. But here's the thing about Judy Shandlin. She doesn't flinch, she doesn't apologize, and she doesn't look back. Because while the world debated her decisions, she was focused on something far more important: securing her legacy. Most celebrities fade with time. Ratings drop, relevance slips, the money slows down. But Judge Judy, she just kept winning. Even off-network, she's still one of the highest-paid personalities in television history. The secret? Ownership and leverage. While others were chasing fame, Judy was quietly stacking power behind the scenes. She didn't just act in Judge Judy, she owned the reruns. She didn't just star in Judy Justice, she built the entire machine around it. And she didn't need cable or primetime to stay rich. She sold the Judge Judy episode library to CBS for a staggering $95 million, while still getting paid $47 million a year to film new ones. She essentially got paid twice, and both sides said yes. That move alone pushed her net worth past $460 million. Not from endorsements, not from flashy brand deals, just smart contracts and total control. Even now, with streaming overtaking traditional TV, Judy's ahead of the curve. Judy Justice isn't just a show, it's an experiment in legacy ownership. She brought in her granddaughter, she built a new platform, and she made sure her image was still everywhere, even on new devices and formats. And while other stars panic over ratings or relevancy, Judy keeps doing what she's always done: work smart, say less, get paid. But for all her strategy and wealth, there's still one question hanging over her empire. How much longer will she keep the gavel in her hand? Judge Judy doesn't need the gavel anymore. She's already rewritten the rules of daytime television, out-negotiated networks, and turned a courtroom show into a global empire. She's 80 years old, still sharp, still commanding millions, and still showing up to work. But for how much longer? Judy Justice was supposed to be a new chapter, but it might also be the last. She's brought in family. She's locked in her wealth. And she's proven she can thrive in a world that looks nothing like the one she started in. So now the question isn't about ratings or salaries. It's about legacy. Will she retire quietly, leaving behind the two iconic shows and a billion-dollar brand built on logic and one-liners? Or will she surprise everyone again with another twist, another deal, another courtroom evolution no one sees coming? Because if there's one thing we've learned from Judy Shanlin, it's this. She doesn't follow the system. She's the system. And when the final gavel drops, whenever that is, her legacy will say far more than case dismissed. It'll say she never lost. Not once.